So, let me share with you the time that I asked my mom to buy me a computer for my birthday. The year was 1993. My mom had just got a Macy's department store card. She asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and of course I said a computer since we didn't have one. She said okay, and then she came home with a Brother WP80 word processor with a built in printer. The thing was basically a cross between Notepad and the Microsoft Word. She was like, oh, and it has a floppy drive and this game called Tetris. And she was right. It did play Tetris as well. All right, it's time to get this show started. Hello, world. I'm your host, Marco Guerrero, and this is the We Are Cardano podcast. In this episode, we'll be speaking with Amanda from Deadpool. But before we move on to that, I would like to ask you guys to like, subscribe, and comment below. We have also put up a proposal for the Catalyst project and would like your support. Link in the description below. Now, on with the show, our interview with Amanda.
Andrew,
Mike,
Shweta,
Adan,
Raymond,
Garren,
Rick,
Naman,
Amanda,
Patrick,
Bill,
Peyton,
James,
Umed,
Nicole,
I'm Adam.
Stevo,
Andrea.
David,
Kyle.
And to those who don't know us, let's introduce ourselves. We're Cardano. And if you'll permit us, we'd like to change the world.
I'm here with Amanda from Deadpool. Amanda, didn't you start out with a different pool name, JALZ? Can you talk about why you chose to change it?
Yeah. So JALZ is another one of my business like LLC names. And I changed it because I really didn't feel like it connected with anybody. And I do like, to play with words, the whole ad libs and puns and all that. And as I was reading through other people's names, it just kind of hit me that there was not a Deadpool. And I thought it was just going to be hilarious on two fronts. Like one, like a dead pool, like who's going to click on something that says dead? But then if you read it together, Deadpool, then of course there's the MCU character. And then I can make so many like funny things with that because I love the character so much. So, I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, I love the GIFs and things of Deadpool and quoting things from MCU and changing it, like ad-libbing it and things. And so, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. And I thought it would be a fun name and something that kind of is memorable, like resonates or connects with people.
So, can you talk a little bit about your first experience with a computer?
Yeah. So my dad always kind of got, I don't want to say like the latest and greatest stuff, but he was always into like getting the new gadgets on the market. So we had this computer when I was really little. I want to say like first or second grade. And we were the only ones on our block that had it. So I would have friends come over and play these games with me. They were like the Mickey Mouse word games where like you build vocabulary. Some math game that was like dolphins with multiplication. I'd like pop bubbles as fast as I could for like drills. But those were my first memories of playing computer games. And the computers was quite different than how they are now. There were like switches that I had to switch like horizontally and they all lit up one by one. And you had to go make a sandwich while it kind of booted up, But yeah, from there, it was like, I loved playing computer games like later on in my middle school time where my other girlfriends would want to go out and go shopping and go to cafes. I wanted to play Warcraft on my computer. So, because that's what I like to do. But yeah, so in my young years, maybe first or second grade, when I was learning multiplication, like I love that dolphin game. Like that's probably my youngest memory of a game like that.
So you're living in Korea now, but when you were a child, you moved around a lot. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So my dad met my mom when he was stationed in Korea. And I was born here, but then we moved to Europe, to England shortly after. And I was there till I was about 3. And then I moved to the States, and his first assignment was in Alabama. So I kind of grew up, my language and stuff is mainly English, but I do speak Korean as a second language. But my English development was kind of funny because I was an early speaker. So I developed some English accent when I was in England. And then moving to Alabama, it was my preschool, of course, with their phonics. I started learning things like the Southern drawl and adding syllables and dropping syllables. And my my vocabulary was quite funny too. And then and then the accent was also funny because I have these videos of me saying some words in English and some words Southern and them in the same sentence. So it's a little humorous to watch as an adult.
So did you go to college for computers?
Not initially. I wanted to go into pre-med coming out of high school. So I went to a university that had a biology program that was strong in pre-med. So I started there, and then I transferred schools to a university in Washington. And my parents decided to buy a house there. And so I lived in that house that was commuting distance to the school rather than living in a dorm there. And the school told me that their program was strong in biology and pre-med, that I would be prepared to go on to med school from this program, which I later find out is not really the case. I'm not sure if they really knew or if they were just kind of like selling. But I find that it was not as heavy as that I wanted, but it was still an interesting program. It was a biomedical engineering program. And so I got to study the biology side of things and engineering. And I found that I enjoyed building things and enjoyed technology. So although I didn't feel comfortable to advance to a medical degree, I enjoyed the program and don't regret doing it.
So I hear bioengineering colleges love to party.
Where did you hear that? That's ridiculous. No, I have a funny story about acquiring some cycled computers. The university I was going to was updating a lot of their equipment, and they were selling off old computers. So when I say old, I mean like really old, like the big glass tube monitors, like the CRT monitors. So I decided to buy like 4 of them for pairs. They were selling them for $25 a pair. So I bought them, and together with a couple of other friends' computers, we had a total of 6. And we would have weekend LAN parties and play like Warcraft and other type of games like that, and just drink our little bubbly beers and pass out on the floor. And those were our raging parties.
Can you talk a little bit about what drew you to the Cardano ecosystem?
My dad, for example, he was a victim of identity fraud and is still recovering from that. Even though, he is pretty secure and shreds everything, it still happened. And he's still contacted by like the IRS to try and figure out what happened during that period, because he was basically dead. So he started getting like contacted about how to deliver out his retirement things and all of that, just because somebody was able to get his identity. So the things that I'm finding that they want to like strengthen all of these securities, whether it be for your identity or credentials or banking or hospital systems or all of that, like it just seems like they're trying to do a lot of good with strengthening security.
So aside from running the Deadpool, you're also a wellness coach. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about how the Cardano public blockchain could help you be a better wellness coach?
Sure. So a lot of it is done online. So they order products and things from the company, and I support them through those channels and the platform means. Problem is that I've had a lot of clients have issue with their orders and getting lost, or the company not having records of their orders, even though I have records, but they don't. Those type of things would not exist if there was a more secure type of blockchain environment. So it would help me a lot to support them if there was a platform that I could support from.
Well, Amanda, I want to say thanks again for joining us on the We Are Cardano podcast. And everybody watching, make sure you go out and check out the Deadpool. And thanks again.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. It's really great talking to you. And I hope that you guys come and check out my Twitter and join my Telegram group and get to know me better one-on-one. So yeah, thanks. Bye.
Bye.